had a good old full English breakfast at the pub. I'm going to get stuck into this in one moment. And I've just been thinking, especially with recent events in the news, about something that happened to me when I was ordering a full English breakfast back in the UK. And it was about nearly 25 years ago now. And I was DJing in a club in Birmingham called Legs 11, which was in Chinatown, and just round the corner in Her Street, there was a very famous, at the time, what we used to call a greasy spoon, or just like a breakfast cafe called Misteregg. And you could go in there, and as the name suggests, eggs were on the menu, eggs and beans, eggs and toast, eggs with everything. And I went in there, and it was a 24-hour place. And I went in there quite late after I'd done a gig, feeling a bit hungry, ordered a breakfast. And at the time I was about 22, 23 years old, and my hair had just started to thin out, and I was starting to go bald. And a couple of drunken lads were in there, and they went, "Oh, look over there. Oh, Slaphead, it's Misteregg." Because the logo for this cafe was rather like the logo I've got from my own channel, and it was a Humpty Dumpty character. And I've got to be honest, I didn't really look, I looked quite a lot like this guy. Now, making jokes about people's baldness seems to be in the news at the moment. How did I react? Well, I didn't go over and slap him like somebody did recently. I actually laughed. It's quite important that out of a joke about something that was in my appearance has moved on to being my complete persona. I've tried to take that negative, as some people might see it, and run with it. Anyway, today's video is going to be about 3 times that I've been Chris Rock and somebody has come and given the slap. A slap story happened here in Pattaya a few years ago, and I'm guessing about maybe longer than 15 years ago. I was just starting to live here, but I was a little bit green. I didn't really understand much about Thailand life. And I'd met this girl who was a waitress in a restaurant, and we sort of started seeing each other a lot, and one thing leads to another. And every time I'm going out with her, and it was becoming a bit of a relationship. But she was a lovely girl, but if I had a criticism of her, she was too clingy. She just, everything, she wanted to know where I was. She was phoning me 10 times a day, and I was just getting a little bit bored of her, to be honest. And so I decided that I needed a cunning plan to get rid of her, because I didn't really want to upset her. I mean, she wasn't a bar girl, obviously. She worked in a restaurant. So I decided that I'd book a taxi to go to Bangkok Airport, Suvarnabhumi, and I told her that I was leaving Thailand, that I was going back to the UK. You know, she was a little bit upset at first, but she kind of got to it. So I booked this taxi, got all my bags packed, everything. And what I was going to do, I was going to move room anyway at the end of the month. So I was just going to take my stuff in a taxi, move to the new room. So when the taxi came, we had a very tearful goodbye. She says, "I come with you to the airport." I says, no, it will only make it worse for me, my love. We'll say goodbye here. So we got into the taxi, and I said to the taxi driver in my pidgin Thai, "I'm not actually going to the airport. Take me to this new hotel where I was going to stay, and I'll give you the same money." Well, he was happy. So he took me to the hotel. I unpacked my things, had a bit of a spruce up, and decided to go out for the evening that night to celebrate my newfound freedom. So found myself a little friend. These things happen here in Pattaya, and I'm walking down a soy, not unlike this one, Soy BJ, with my little friend that night. It was a quiet night, and it was a very, very quiet little soy. And who do I see walking towards me? Oh no, it's the girl that I've waved goodbye to, and I'm with this girl, but I'm not supposed to be there, and there's no way I can avoid it. I mean, it's just a little soy. and there's a confrontation. She comes up to me and straight away slaps the slap. Says something to the friend of mine who's accompanying me in Thai, and I didn't really understand what they were saying because maybe it was in Isan and I hadn't been here very long and I was a little bit green. They started yakking together and I thought there was going to be a fight between them two, and then, surprise, surprise, the girl I'm with, she slaps me as well, and I'm sitting there with two very hard hurting slaps, and the two girls have walked off. Best of friends. If you're getting a sense of deja vu with this next story, I have told it already, but I'm going to repeat it again and do it slightly differently because it is quite relevant to what happened at the Oscars a couple of weeks ago. I was working as a manager in a go-go bar, and I'd become quite friendly with one of the mamasans there. Not intimately friendly, but just joking, and that's what you do sometimes when you become a manager. You have to try and become friends with the staff. And I'd seen a couple of episodes of Friends where one of the characters, I think it was Joey, was just opening a girl's bra strap by just flicking it like that in like a one finger movement. I can still do it actually, and by the way, if you want to know how to do that, or you've got any good tips about removing brassiers, leave them in the comments down below. Little did I know, she had a very burly Thai boyfriend who coincidentally was also a Muay Thai boxer. And one day I was just marking the clock cards in the bar and turned around for some reason, and bang! This guy had not slapped me, he'd actually punched me with all his might. And one thing I wanted to say about this story that I didn't mention before, and a lot of people have said, well, that thing between Will Smith and Chris Rock, it was clearly staged because his feet didn't move, he just stood there. Do you know, exactly the same thing happened to me. I was punched really bad. There was blood coming all the way down my nose. But I just stood there because this guy had run out the bar. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand why it had happened. I was trying to comprehend the logic behind it. Who would want to slap me? Of course, I worked it out later what had happened, and it was all apologised. Actually, I went for a drink with a guy. I see him from time to time and we have a joke about it. But don't think that thing was staged, or that reaction of just standing there and wondering, why would anyone want to slap the egg? This is the famous entrance to Marine Disco. I've heard a rumour that it could be finished. I'd say it's never going to come back, but I'm not sure. These rumours that come around here in Pattaya are sometimes not true. And although it didn't happen here, reminded me of a story that happened to me in a nightclub. So I'm in a nightclub one day, and it's a very, very busy nightclub, and I'm at the bar. There's a really, really famous DJ that's playing that night, and I've just come to hear him. So I'm at the bar, it's packed, and it's like this, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just get a bang. I turn around, and there's this very, very attractive woman looking at me, and she goes, "Oh, it's not you. It's not you. It's another man with no hair." So I'm standing there completely innocent. And you know, she doesn't say sorry or anything. She just walks away. The moral of this story, there are a lot of bald people in this town. You might get spotted as somebody else, especially in the dark lighting, poor girl. Right. I just wanted to say at the end, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Getting physically assaulted is very, very rare. I think a couple of the times that I did get slapped, it was completely my fault. And the third time was just a case of mistaken identity. So please don't let it put you off coming here to Pattaya, where we do have a party. I personally was disgusted at what happened at the Oscars, and I never ever think that violence is the right answer. Always have a bit of a joke and a laugh. I'm into banter, but violence is a big no-no. I'd like to know what you think about that. Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to know more about me, my name's Misteregg. Now you know why. My real name's Phil, and I'll be at the pub in Soy Diamond every day from 11 o'clock. In fact, I've got to get back there now. See you soon, and stay tuned for some more videos coming up on the channel. Bye bye.